Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. Here's my door that I was working on yesterday. There's the other door, and I've put a bit of polythene sheet over them. I came out today to do a bit, and what's happened is we had Storm Bert last night, and as you can see here, there's a lot of condensation formed on the things, everything in the garage. The lathe is wet. To be honest, I didn't see that rust on that table yesterday. I've just noticed that today. The lathe is all soaking wet. Anywhere where there's metal is wet, and that's going to affect me trying to do this job. Jeff came round early and we had a chat about it, and this sheet wasn't draped all the way down here, and the back of the car was on show there, and it was wet, and it has formed rust here and there. You can see rust there, look. So we honestly, at the moment, we don't really know exactly what to do. Also, unfortunately, this side of the car was exposed. I mean, this is all soaking wet. This is wet, really wet. Can you see it all? This side of the car has been wet because this was exposed, and that's got rust on it as well. I don't want to lift it up because this is absolutely dripping wet. I think a lot of it is okay, but I'm going to have to put a hold on the job. What I'm contemplating doing is making like a tent thing over here, which we can kind of enclose, keep it dry, keep it separate from the rest of the garage, have some sort of a heater in here. So I've ordered some polythene sort of clear tarpaulin, which will make a thing to cover the car, and hopefully have enough room to be able to spray maybe the doors. Yeah, so here we are, and it's knocked me back a bit, to be honest, this situation. Yeah, we might end up having to rub this back down again or something, I don't know. But I thought I'd just nip out here now while all this condensation is obvious, because I'll probably not do anything for a few days, and when I come back, hopefully it'll all be cleared up. Okay, so I'm just reporting that the project has taken a bit of a knock back, and I'm not quite sure exactly how we're going to overcome this, but like I say, I've ordered some things to make a tent, and we'll rig something up and have a little area where we can work and have it, try and improve the situation. Okay, righto, so I'm a bit disappointed, but you know, what can you do? I should have done it when the weather was better, shouldn't I? Okay, thanks for joining me in the garage. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. We're moving the cars around, so I'm going to see if we can start the Thunderbird. I don't know if it'll go. Don't even know if it's got a battery on it, but let's give it a go. If not, we'll have to push it.
Sounds promising.
Right.
You've got a metre over this side, mate. You got more room here than you had with the 2-door.
Yeah.
So it could come over another foot.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay, well, we've moved it. I'm not sure I'm 100% happy about the positioning, but like Jeff says, we can come over a bit more.
We'll go over another foot. And if we move these, it'll come down another 2.5 this way now.
Well, we'll move everything, Jeff, including the table. I'm just thinking, would it be better up here? Okay, you don't need to hear us discussing what we're going to do on the film. So, yeah, we're moving the T-bird, and what we're going to do, we're going to create a sort of a spray booth here, in this space here. Right, we'll get the cars back in there then. We've had a change of plan. We've got the cars back out again.
You've got any of them skates you put under the wheels, have you, Mart?
I have, but they're shit.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, Jeff made the suggestion to kind of put the car sideways there, and we'll build a kind of a booth around that now, and that'll put us in a better position for getting it sprayed. Hopefully the tarpaulin should be coming tomorrow, so let's see what we can rig up. Hello, we're putting up our temporary spray booth. In other words, a 6 by 10 metre clear tarpaulin. So I don't know how this is going to go. Never done it before. Just our own idea. So I thought let's turn the camera on and see how it ends up. Have you got everything there or what?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the button. I've got a couple of screws. I've got the wheel. Just need more.
Yeah.
Sorry, I use them at home.
Yeah.
In the garage when I'm axling and filing.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, see you later.
Thanks, Jeff.
Alright, see you later.
Cheers. Thank you. See you later. Well, there we are. That's our, the beginnings of our makeshift paint booth. This is a large tarpaulin. It's 10 metres by 6 metres. So it's about 33 feet, which is that way, and about 19 feet that way. And this will give us a nice place to work now. And if I can seal it up pretty well, put a little heater in here. Maybe, perhaps. And I've got 2 more tarps as well to go. One at this end here, and one there as well. So hopefully that'll put us in better contention for, you know, doing this paint job. Quite like it. It does make you feel nicely secluded in here though. Thanks very much to Jeff for helping me. It would have been virtually impossible otherwise. So there we are, little spray booth. Again, not insulated obviously, but it's got to help, hasn't it? Just contain the air within this one area. Yeah, it was a good call putting it sideways like that. It's worked out a lot better than I assumed, because it's a good width, that is. I will carry on when I worked out how to do what I want to do, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, welcome to the inner sanctum at Mart's garage. This is my temporary area that I've set up in an attempt to try and have one area of the garage that I can at least have a little bit of warmth in. That's to try and counter the condensation and stuff that we're having. I've got a little fan heater there running. It's running and cutting off on its own thermostat, so that's doing okay. It's actually quite nice in here. It's not cold. It isn't cold outside today, but it is damp. It's warm enough in here that I've took my jacket off. I've temporarily hung the doors. They've been rubbed down, and I want to put some paint on them. Now I was chatting to my friend Trev, and he said, use a roller primer. Use a roller, put it on, 20 minutes later put another coat on, and so on, and you can easily get a lot of paint on quickly. So I thought I'd try that. No experience, just going to try it. I've fitted this door. It does fit a bit tight there, but there's no getting around that really. I might have one more go at getting that to fit a little bit better, and then I'll try and put some paint on, because it can come back a little bit. This is the end off a lug nut being cut off. I put it in the hinge, squeezed it and bent the hinge a bit, and I did the same there, and now there's a little gap that was touching before. I think it's touching at the bottom. It was out at the bottom, and I've bent the door a bit. I need to bend it back the other way. Hang on. Let's gone the other way now, it's sticking out at the bottom. That's alright, that's okay. That's about as good as I'm going to get it, I think. Again, I'm a little bit trepidatious because I've never done this before. What can go wrong? Waste some paint. Alright. I've got a little bit of paint, so I'm going to do the inside of the other door. Okay, right, that's it, I'm done. I think with it being so damp outside, even though the rollering wasn't ideal, I think it was still better than spraying it with a load of moisture laden air. You're probably going to say that's the worst paint job you've ever seen in your life. Well, you're probably right. This roller's falling apart. Alright, I'm dicking around now, aren't I? Okay. Righto. Let's have a look at the other side. As soon as I was able to give that a couple of good coats. Okay, missed a bit there, look. Got to do underneath as well. I'm learning what you can and can't do with the roller. That's not too bad, is it, really? Considering it was done in one sitting. Give that the lightest little rub down and another coat. Get the body, rub down the areas that had that condensation on it, and that can all have another coat. Needs rubbing down because it's got some finger marks on it from when we pushed it around. Okay, right. That's took an hour to paint those two doors. Alright, look after yourselves then, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, here we are in the inner enclave. There's the door that I painted yesterday, and the other door over there. I've made some temporary little handles that go on here, so I thought I could use these for holding the door when it's open, but it also doubles as a little latch. You fold it down there like that. That's quite handy. I've taken the wire wheel and rubbed off the paint in the areas where it was affected by condensation, there and here. So I'm going to mix up some more paint and paint these areas, and then try and give the whole car another coat. Yeah, I think just one more coat over everything, and by the time that I've done some of the rest of it, I can come back and do these. I've sanded it all down. I'm just going to use the roller like I did yesterday and see how I get on. Okay, I'm not a painter. Don't take any lessons from me. I'm probably doing everything wrong. You saw me roller in this piece and some of the other bits. I didn't do the doors because I did the doors yesterday. This one had about 3 or 4 coats on. I did the top of the doors, done around the windows, and I've done all the way around the bottom here. Only a quick job here. But I gave it another coat here where I put that first coat on. The dent there, look. It dries lighter. So it's been painted all the way along the top, all the way across the back. I've touched in these bits that had condensation on them and rust started to come through, which is worrying. Don't get me wrong, I'm not worried about that. Sorry, I'm not worried about that. But at the end of the day, what can you do? I'm just trying to change the appearance of the car a little bit over the patinated rust. Righto, I'll get cleaned up then. I'll bring you back in this motor shop. Hello, welcome back to Mart's garage. One of the areas that I haven't yet tried to prepare on the Sedan is this under fender area, this wheel well. I've got it jacked up, took the wheels off, and I'm going to clean up all under there now, and the same on the other side. It's just one of those things that I hadn't yet done. Probably one of thousands of things that I haven't done, because I'm, as I've said, not much of an expert on this sort of work. But I'm going to get that cleaned up and try and put a little bit of paint on it. Might even brush paint that bit, don't know. Oh, I suppose I can roller it, can't I? Okay, so yeah, so I'll get cracking with that then. You don't need to see me stripping that. It's all pretty standard stuff, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Now there is one little thing that I might do. There's like a dent there where this has hit it, so I'll probably put a dent in there on purpose. In fact, it's gone through there, look. So I'll probably get a socket and make a dent in there, maybe even heat it up, not sure. Let's see how it goes. Okay, not a very pleasant job, but I'll just get cracking and get on with it. Back in a bit. Hello, here's my wheel arch. I'll give it my best shot, trying to illuminate it without blowing it out. Amazing, those threads there are perfectly good. That's where I had to weld up a little hole that was fatigued. That piece of metal in the middle is the only piece of metal I've had to let in on this car, other than the doors. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a bit awkward working up under the arch. I think it needs a little bit more. So I'll go at those bits that are still showing up a bit rusty and try and, you know, make it good. All in all, it's not looking too bad. A couple of little holes there, look. And there's that area where I want to try and give it some clearance. Okay, right. I'll carry on, and I've got the other side to do as well, so I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello. I'm going to say this one's finished. I've dressed that piece back there. Yeah, it's ready to have some paint on it, I think. I might do a bit of welding, I'm not sure, I don't know. I used this ball peen hammer and I held it against where I wanted to hit and then hit it with that to push that back there. Yeah. A bit dusty in here. And this is where I've just been working, but I haven't finished this side. This piece here is the hardest part to do, it's just awkward. There's a few little pinholes here and there. I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is. This side hasn't hit quite so much. Just a little dent there. So I'll still just dress that back though. So that'll do for today. I'll cover it back up because I don't want to leave the paint exposed, because with the temperature changes we're having lately, it causes problems with condensation. So that's the last thing I want, is water on the paint. Okay, take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. Hello, it's a bit smoky in here, I just set the car on fire. Just had to do a bit of emergency evacuation. Whew. I was welding under here with the gas and everything, all the curtains and things that were inside here went up. All this went up, look. The car cover. Made a right mess. Because I'm working down there with goggles on. I wasn't aware of it. All the masking that was here went up. All this here, look. Bloody hell. I didn't realise there was anything in the vicinity, you know, I thought it was just metal. Made a right mess. Oof. Burnt all the curtain as well. I had to drag this out and stamp on it, look. Throw it outside. The old Jurassic Park curtains. What a mess. Get the hose on it. Okay. Well, there you go. Serves me right for not checking properly. Okay. Disaster averted. So I've welded up those little holes there, and I was just working on that one there, welded up a few there. So I'll just finish that off. I'm just blobbing it in with weld, and I think there's a hole just there. Might just leave that. It's a bit close to the outer edge, that one. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, righto. I'll continue with the job that I was doing then, and I'll bring it back when there's more to show. Hopefully not quite so dramatic. Ooh, still smells a little bit in here. Okay, I've took all the covers off the car because it's a bit drier today, and I've got the heater on in this part of the garage. There's a little bit of smoke damage here and there. It's not a complete disaster, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make it worse than it is. So I want to paint under these wheel arches, and I want to do some little touch-ins here and there. This side's okay. That's only had one coat. That needs a bit more paint on there. What I noticed here is that because I used a roller, it's a bit shy here and there. I can see bare metal just in these creases, and you can see a little bit of smoke here and there, look. So I'm going to get a bit of sandpaper, flat that down. I think what I'm going to do is get a brush it into that gap there first, and then use the roller afterwards. So I'm going to sand this area. I can paint in there and put another coat on this part here. I think the door's okay, the cowl's okay. There was a dent here, do you remember that big dent? That's pretty good, 99% out that is. And that was just metal working by me, so I'm pleased with that. I'm a little bit worried about if the weather changes though, it's going to get condensation on it again. What's important is to get some paint on that will seal it, so I think I need to push forward with that. Made a mess inside. Need to clean all this up. But I think the most important thing right now is to get some paint on the inside, on the wheel arch rather. I welded up a little bit there as well, look. Oh, and I want to, when I use the paintbrush, I want to get underneath the bottom of the door there, because I haven't painted that at all. It's a bit patchy, isn't it? I'm not very good, I'm a shit painter. And this is all a learning curve for me. Getting there though, bit by bit. But there isn't any filler on this whole body. The only filler is where I repaired the doors. This is the one that was lap welded. Okay. Right, so instead of talking about it, I'll get on and do it. Hello. I painted these wheel arches yesterday, and I've just gone in with the wire brush and cleaned off some little areas that I'd kind of forgotten about. But I'm also going to try and have a go at just welding up these holes. I don't want to make a complete repair panel because I'll have a job blending it in, but I'm going to try and just weld those holes up. So I thought I'd just show you what this looks like. I won't film me welding it because you can't actually see it. I don't have a suitable filter that I can put on the lens to enable you to see it. So I'll just give it a go. I'm using my oxyacetylene, but yeah, I can weld this. I think I can weld it. So let me get cracking then, and I'll see what I can do. Hello. I've done my bit of welding. I'm not sure if I'm happy with it. These bits will be alright because they're not particularly, you know, fussy. I'm not sure I'm happy with this piece here. Ooh. It's all done with the oxyacetylene. I'm going to try grinding it, see if I can make it look okay. If I can get it at least looking okay, I'll probably just go with it. I've got a couple of little bits that I've missed, one there and one there, tiny little bits, but generally it's not too bad. It's bulged out there, so I might have to try and tap that in. So I'll try and just take these down a bit and see what they look like. Well, I'm sorry to say it, but that didn't come out very well at all. These will be alright, but that's absolutely rubbish. It was okay till I ground it. Then once I started grinding it, it just, you know, you don't know when to stop. It's hard to tell when to stop. I think this bit here is not too bad. I think it's a bit weak there. Yeah, I'm not happy with it at all. I'll have to have a think about it. I can either put some glass fibre in it and fill it and just sand it and try and get a decent shape, or I could just make a little patch. So I've then got to weld that patch in, and that'll just create a whole another world of pain. And that begs the question then, what do I do with the other similar panels? I've got no choice really, have I? I've got to weld it. I need to just cut up here, cut down there, and I'll try and leave the bottom because the bottom's alright, so I'll just cut short of it, and then I'll make a simple piece that'll come down, got a bit of a bend in it, and then bend down, and I'll weld it behind. I'll just weld it behind, and then just get the shape with a bit of filler. Not what I wanted to do. In some ways I wish I'd just left it alone and just, let's have a look at the other side. I mean, in some ways I wish I'd just left it alone. That is just good, honest, sort of age-related, tiny little bit of rust, isn't it? It's nothing really, but it just looks a mess now. I ought to weld up these fatigue cracks here. Right, so yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. I think I might just go straight in with the fiberglass repair on these, because you can get to the back of it. It's a little bit difficult. Pardon me. You can get to the back of it, but there is a bracket in the way. Oh, and there's lots of burnt stuff in the way that I need to get out. Yeah, I think I'll just fiberglass it, which will be annoying, but what are you going to do? I think I've made a real big mistake on the other side there. Messed it up. I'm not sure you can get to this, you know. You know, this panel is fine, isn't it? But what's it going to look after? What's it going to look like after I've tried to weld a repair in down here? Atrocious, probably. Alright, okay. I might have a break at that because I'm a little bit disappointed. Alright, okay. I'll have a think about it, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, I've cut out that piece there, and kind of scraped out the dust and dirt from behind it. I've made this, which kind of fits. I suppose all I can do really is just start trying to tack it in. It's really hard to get it positioned actually. I think I might use the MIG welder for this, because there's a couple of holes there, so I might weld up that hole. But also when I was cutting this off, I didn't realise it, but there's another piece of metal close behind and I cut through that as well. So I need to put some welds on that just to kind of capture it, and put a little bit of weld in there as well, I suppose. And then I'll spray a bit of weld through primer on it. Okay, righto, it is what it is. I'll bring it back when there's more to show. There's my little patch welded in. Not too bad, really. Just going to take the tops off those welds. Didn't fit too bad, to be honest. I'm near the end of my session now, so I'm just going to grind those and see how it looks. Okay, back in a bit. There's the patch in place. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest. I can feel a little bit of a step though there, so that'll take some filler. I took a Dremel to, not a Dremel, this thing here, die grinder, to get the weld there, and while I was at it I tried to do that weld there, but it went through. But I can see that that is very weak, that piece, so I might bend up another piece of metal and just replace that piece so it's new metal all the way to there. Righto, but I'm pleased with that for today. That's quite good, not bad at all really, you know, considering I was dreading it. And I think I did okay with that feature line in it. Okay, righto, good little session today. Bit of a pain though, because I didn't really want to have to do that, but no, I'm quite glad I did now. This, yeah, I'll probably have to do something similar here. Yeah, okay. Let's have a quick look at the others. And there, look, just something similar. I can kind of envisage it now. Yeah, okay, righto. That'll keep me busy for the next few days, won't it? Okay, right. I imagine if I'd have left them like that, I would have had a load of criticism, so devil you do, devil you don't. Okay. Thanks a lot then, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye.